Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So in today's video I found an amazing dupe for the Anastasia Modern Renaissance palette. So if you'd like to see what it is and how I done this eyeshadow and all the swatches and everything, then please just keep on watching. So I went shopping last week and I went into Watt Brothers because they've got a lot of W7 stuff and I'm going to do a test in W7 makeup. And so I was just looking at all of the makeup and stuff, and then I seen this palette and I thought, that packaging looks really nice. And then I opened it and seen this. I just dug my nail into it. But I seen this and thought, that looks the exact same as my Anastasia Modern Renaissance palette. So I bought it to do a dupe video on it. But having both of them like next to each other, they are like basically identical. Like, this is the Modern Renaissance one and this is the W7 one, and they are like basically identical. So I'm going to do swatches and everything. So obviously everyone has seen what the Modern Renaissance palette looks like. Mine is dirty, and then the inside looks like this, and the colours are just stunning. I absolutely love my Modern Renaissance palette, but that is £42, and is it 42? I'm pretty sure it's 42. And not everybody has £42 to spend on an eyeshadow palette. So when I seen this, I thought that I really needed to get it. So the W7 one is called the Natural and Berry, and it's got a stain on it already. That was already in the shop. It was like that. It does come with a brush as well. And then this is the shades. The shades don't have any names on this. But the only thing is, somebody has already swatched a couple of the colours, and there was only two of them sitting, and this was the one that had been touched the least, so I just picked it up. So I'm going to insert some clips of me swatching them. So that's swatches of all of the colours, and they do basically all look identical. It's just the Anastasia one is more pigmented. Tiggle's ear. And I did move my camera in because I realised that you could see my son's high chair because it is sitting in the corner, because it's the only place for it to be without it sitting out. So I'm going to do an eye look, and I'm going to use the Anastasia on the left eye, and then no, that's my right eye, and then use the W7 one on my left eye. So I'm going to start off by taking Golden Ochre, and I'm going to put this through the crease and bring it quite high up. I think I'm going to do a cut crease today. And I think I forgot to say, the W7 palette is only £5. So obviously it is 10 times cheaper than this, and basically all of the colours look the exact same. So I'm going in with this shade here, which is the same one as the Golden Ochre one, and just putting this in my crease, and I'm just going to keep on building this shade up because this one wasn't really that pigmented. So that's both of the shades applied, and you can see this one a lot better. This one's just not really building up, but you can still see it. So next I'm going to go in with the shade Raw Sienna, and I am using different brushes for like each eye. I've like tried to find brushes that were like similar in size, so I am using different brushes so that I'm not mixing up the products on the brush. So I'm just putting this on the outer corner and blending it into the crease, and it's so easy with this palette. I do love my Anastasia palette, but it's £42. Like, that's just so expensive for eyeshadow in my opinion. So I'm taking this shade in the W7 palette and putting this on the outer corner and in the crease. I don't think this one is as warm as the Raw Sienna shade. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to mix these two shades together just to warm it up a little bit more, just to get it the same shade. I'm going to use a clean fluffy blending brush just to blend out all the eyeshadows, and I'm just going to use this one on like both eyes because I'm not putting any product onto it, it's just purely to blend these shades out. But that is that shade applied, and with mixing it with that other shade it does look a lot more similar. Next I'm going in with the shade Red Ochre, and I'm putting this on the outer corner and just buffing it in. Tigger. And whatever's left on the brush, I'm just going to blend that through the crease as well. Then I'm going to be taking this shade in the W7 palette and putting that in the exact same place on this eye. As you can see, it's not as pigmented, but can easily just build it up to, like they say, Tigger. See the amount of times he's stuck his claws into my leg. But you can build it up to the same intensity. And for £5 it's like pretty much identical. You just need to give it a little bit more work, but honestly I don't really mind that. I'm going to take some of this shade, I think it's called Veintine Red, I don't know, and I'm just putting this here, like just still kind of like on the outer part of the eye, but I'm going to do a cut crease, so just this is going to be the shade that the cut crease blends out onto. Then I'm taking this shade on in the W7 palette and just blending this into like the exact same place. I thought my camera had stopped recording there. So the only difference that I'm seeing now is obviously you can see the crease colours a lot better on this eye, apart from it being like a pure riot here. It's not as warm, like that Red Ochre shade is a bit more deeper on obviously the Anastasia palette rather than this one. So I've kind of made the crease on this side a lot more warmer, so I'm just going back in with the Anastasia palette and some of that Veintine Red, and I'm just going to blend this through the crease just to warm it up to like the same as the other side. Tigger. Thank God he's went off in my legs. Jesus, that was so sore. In the Anastasia palette, I'm going to go in with the shade Antique Rose, and I know it's a shimmer, but I'm just going to blend this right onto the outer part of the eye and then take it through the crease so that we can see this shade when we cut the crease. Then going in with this shade in the W7 palette and putting this right on the outer part of the eye as well. And I am like proper swirling my brush in it. It is coming off, it's just it doesn't look as intense as this eye, like you can tell the difference, but it does look pretty similar. So then going in with the big fluffy brush and blending these shades out. And I know I've made a mess of this side, but not this side, just a little bit under here. But honestly, I always end up making a mess, so I'm not really bothered about that either. And I've still got glitter on my face from Thursday's video. I'm going to go in with this shade called Tempera, and I'm going to put this along the top because I used the Collection Lasting Perfection concealer in the shade One Fair, and I'm using it just purely to try and get rid of it, but it's oxidizing so much and it just looks horrible, so I'm just going to apply that there and then go in with a clean fluffy brush and just blend out the edges of it. Then going in with this shade in the W7 palette and doing the exact same, and I'm gonna kind of hoping that this one does show up because it didn't really show up in the swatches, but it does seem to be showing up. Obviously swatches aren't everything, like some colours might not swatch great but they'll apply onto the eye really nicely, so I don't really rely on swatches. I'm going to go in with this shade on the W7 side, and I'm going to add this onto the outer corner just to try and deepen it up like this side. Like, it does apply on nicely and it blends out nicely, but see when you go in with like a fluffy brush to blend, to make sure that it is all blended out, the shades do just kind of blend away, which is obviously annoying, and then you need to like build them back up, but that is kind of worked. I'm going back in with that pinkish shade just to intensify that a little bit more because it has disappeared, and then I'm with the red ochre shade on the W7 palette, and then back in with the Veintine red from the Anastasia palette on this eye, and then back in with a little bit more of the red ochre. So I just done the cut crease and I'm going back in with the Veintine red shade, and I'm blending this over the edges just to help blend it out. And I've not set the concealer because it just makes the eyeshadows go on a lot more pigmented over the top, so I'm going in with this shade on this eye from the W7 palette. I'm going to go in with this shade called Vermeer, and I'm going to put this all over the cut crease just to set it, and obviously this is the shimmer shade. And then I'm going back in with that brush that we used for the Veintine red, and just going over the edges again just to make sure that it's all nice and blended out. Then going in with this shade in the W7 palette and doing the exact same on this eye. And then back in with this brush just to blend out the edge of that. I'm going to add a little bit more just here, because I don't know if you guys can see, there's like a line of the Veintine red shade in the W7 palette. So I just cleaned up underneath and I'm going back in with this shade in the W7 palette, and I'm just going to deepen up the outer corner on this just to make them more similar. So I just built that shade up on the outer corner a little bit more, but this is a close-up of the eye, like that is not blended out the best, but the Anastasia one does look a lot better. Like you can see where the eyeshadows have been placed, whereas with the W7 side they have just all kind of like merged together, like you can't even see the crease, the transition shades anymore. So I'm just going to go and finish doing the rest of my makeup, and then I'll be back to do my lower lash line. So I finished doing the rest of my makeup and I'm going to go in with the Modern Renaissance palette, and I'm going to take that red ochre shade again, and I'm going to blend this underneath the lower lash line. Then I'm going to take this shade from the I was going to say L'Oreal palette, from the W7 palette, and blending that underneath my lower lash line as well. Okay, this has still got some of the reddy shade on it, but that's fine because we're going to be doing that to the other side anyway. So I'm just going in with the red ochre shade, and blending that underneath. I hate putting eyeshadow underneath my eyes because I need to look up, but then I can't see, and just looking like this I can see the brush like at my eye, and it just ends up making me like pure blank and everything. So looking up is just the easiest way for me to do it. Then I'm going in with some Cypress Umber, and I'm going to blend this right on the outer part of the eye, and I did sit and blend that while I was off camera, so it has blended out slightly now and it does look slightly better. It's just on this side it's a lot darker up here because this shade in the W7 palette didn't really have that much pigment, so it's still quite dark. I'm going to go in with a little bit of the Vincent Red as well and put that on my lower lash line as well. So then in the W7 palette, going in with that shade and then that shade in the lower lash line. Oh no, I thought I did it right underneath, and just putting that in the exact same place is what we've done with the other eye. I hate it when like you've done your makeup and then you get an itch and then you need to like try and not scratch your makeup away. I'm going back in with that shade in the W7 palette, and I'm going to use the little brush that it comes with, and I'm using the flat side, and I'm going to try and lighten underneath my eyebrow again, just to help, and then using the fluffy side, just going around the outside of that. So this is the brush that comes with the Anastasia kit, and then this is the one that comes with the W7. They are both basically like the same size. The W7 one is actually a lot softer than what the Anastasia one. The Anastasia one is kind of jaggy, and then on the bottom of it, just the W7 one is a little bit bigger, but they do both feel the same, but I kind of prefer the W7 brush. So I just went and done my mascara, and this is what the eyeshadow looks like. This is the Anastasia side, and then this is the W7 side. You can just see that it's that pinky shade there has stuck onto the concealer when I tried to use that shade to blend it out. So maybe if you like don't set your concealer, just go straight in with the eyeshadows, then they will be more pigmented, because you can see that it has made it more pigmented. But overall I do really like the W7 palette, and obviously if you don't have enough money to buy the Anastasia one, then I would recommend getting this, because it is pigmented. Like, you've seen that it is pigmented, and you can get the exact same eyeshadow look. You do just need to work with it a little bit more. You just need to build the eyeshadows up, but I don't really have a problem with that. Like, I like to build my eyeshadows up slowly anyway, so that I don't make a mess of it, or like so that I'm able to blend it out, unlike this side where I can't blend it out. But that is just me, so I would say get it. It's a £5, and then this one is 42, so really it's 6.5 a dozen. If you want the Anastasia one, then obviously get that, but you could just get this one. So that is it for this video, and I hope you guys did enjoy, and I will see you in my next one. Bye guys.